Okay, I think we're live.
It says live.
Okay.
Here it is.
All right. So, Silvana and I have been really bored lately, so we decided to take a little road trip. And I am going to take her to Junee to Monte Cristo Homestead, which is supposed to be one of the most haunted houses in Australia.
I'm gonna die.
No, you're not going to die. It's during the daytime.
Okay.
They only come out at night. And so while we're there, I'll see if I can actually post some stories about the hauntings of Monte Cristo, and we'll see how we go. All right, we're just about to leave Canberra, so we will talk to you later. Bye. How do I stop this thing?
Finish.
Oh, there. Made it. The weather unfortunately hasn't improved a lot, but if I flip the camera around, that's Monte Cristo, which is supposedly one of the most haunted houses in Australia.
I've yet to find the count yet though.
You can't find the count of Monte Cristo. So
Still missing.
we're going to venture in. Actually, in a couple of minutes I'll tell you one of the first stories about one of the tragedies that has befallen this place over the years.
I'm scared.
Be brave.
No.
All right, so that's it for this one. All right, moving on to the next story. We're in the one of the upstairs bedrooms.
Did you see that creepy mannequin? It's horrifying.
So, when the Ryans first moved into the house, before they built the modern extension on the back, they actually lived in the house after they'd restored it. Now, this bedroom was originally the bedroom shared by two of their daughters. And the daughters would occasionally complain about the fact that they would see a man's face looking in through that window.
No, yuck.
Problem is, there's no balcony out there.
Yuck.
It's a sheer drop straight down to the ground. So there's no way a man could look into that.
Unless he was a ghost.
So, one of the guys I used to work with actually married one of the daughters.
Oh.
And he asked about it, and he said that they were totally convinced that it wasn't bullshit enough for tourists. They actually believed that they were seeing what they were seeing and experiencing what they were experiencing.
Yuck. Could you imagine growing up here?
Well, you get a nice bed.
A creepy bed.
All right, so we're on the upstairs balcony of the house. You can see it has lovely views over the sprawling metropolis of Junee. Now this is where I had my experience. Years ago when I was working for Prime TV, we came out to do a story on Monte Cristo. And we were interviewing Reg. Now I wanted to get a shot of Reg and my journo coming out of that door and walking to the edge of the balcony looking out where those people are now. So I was setting up my camera just here. And while I was doing that, my journo and Reg were inside waiting for me to call them to come out. As I was setting up the camera, just as I put it on the tripod, I heard footsteps on the wood coming up behind me. Now, I thought it was Olive, so I just turned around and there was nobody there. So I thought, okay, maybe it's somebody, downstairs. So looked over the balcony, nobody downstairs. Looked around the corner, nobody around the corner. And doing that had taken me so long that Reg and my journo stuck their heads out the door and asked me what was going on. I said, I just thought I heard footsteps coming up behind me. And Reg has just gone, yeah, that happens.
It's casual way.
Yeah. So that was my experience with Monte Cristo many, many years ago. So, after Mr. Crowley died, Mrs. Crowley had this little side room turned into her own little personal chapel. You can see it's now been decked out with crosses and stuff, but that's all been added since the Ryans bought the place. But she started spending more and more time in here, even sleeping here, rather than in the main bulk of the house. She became very fervently religious after her husband died and became very, very reclusive. There have been reports of people seeing and hearing things in this room and feeling things. At the moment, I don't think we'd feel any cold mist because it's bloody freezing anyway. We're out the back of the main building now, and we're looking at what was originally the dairy room and later became the caretaker's cottage. Now, the horrible part of the story here is that there was a mentally disabled boy or man who was kept in this building, chained up for years. In fact, you can see there is a chain in the hole in the wall which allowed him to roam a little distance outside the house, but essentially kept him chained up in this small outbuilding. It wasn't until Mrs. Crowley died that they finally came up, the townspeople finally came up and found him chained up here. Up until then, nobody even knew he existed.
After his mother had died of a heart attack, so he was basically chained up in here next to his dead mother for a few days, I think it was.
Yeah. Legend also has it that he used to howl, so people would hear. It didn't add to the reputation of the place that people could hear howling coming from the house, which sits on a hill overlooking Junee. Later, this became a caretaker's cottage during the 60s, and the other legend has it that one night after watching a screening of Psycho, a local guy got it into his head that the caretaker up here was another Norman Bates.
Ooh.
And he came up here, knocked on the door, and when the caretaker opened the door, he received the full brunt of a shotgun blast, killing him instantly.
Oh my god.
Allegedly, he then scrolled on the door the words "Die Jack, ha ha." They were visible for many years. I can remember years and years and years ago when I first came up here, you'd actually still see the words scrawled on the door, but it looks as though sort of time's taken its toll on that. Don't think it's on the back side of the door. No. So that's yet another couple of stories that adds to the reputation of Monte Cristo as being a very haunted house. All right, this is the last terrible, terrible story I've got to tell about this place. So we're at the stables now. This is where they used to keep the carriages and all horses. And back in the day, there was, of course, a stable staff, including a stable boy, who, according to legend, one morning fell ill. And he was so ill he couldn't even get out of his bed, which was basically just a hay-stuffed mattress on the ground somewhere here in the stables. The chief of the stables wasn't exactly a sympathetic man, and he thought the young kid was trying to shirk off a day of work, and decided that the best way to get him motivated would be to set fire to his mattress. So he did that and walked away expecting the kid to come out. The kid couldn't move, he was that sick.
Oh no.
And so he burned to death, as did a large portion of the stables. So that's just another one of the tragedies of Monte Cristo that allegedly add up to it being one of the most haunted houses in Australia. I know I haven't told a lot of the ghost stories. A lot of the ghost stories add up to people having feelings, hearing footsteps, seeing faces at the windows. They used to be able to keep pets in the house when the Ryans first moved in here. They just run away. The very first cat they got just bolted straight out the kitchen door and was never seen again. They did finally manage to get one cat who stuck around, but they came, and that cat had a litter of kittens. They came home one night and found all the kittens dead on the kitchen floor, basically ripped apart, and no sign of the mother cat. They don't know what happened, and they never bothered trying to keep pets again after that. So this is Monte Cristo.
Yes, I'm Monte Cristo.
This has been Monte Cristo. So did you enjoy the trip, Silvana?
Yes. Although I expected to be more scared.
Yeah. I told you. Well, we're here during the day. I told you it wouldn't be that bad.
Also, yeah, I'm mostly just horrified at the tragedies, especially the cats.
I thought you might be worried about that. That's why I left that one to last.
Yeah, 'cause if you'd mentioned that one first, I would have left. Be like, nah, I'm out, bye.
All right. So we're going to have a look around. There's a couple more buildings to look through, but they don't. This one's quite modern. It was actually added by the Ryans. We're going to have a bit more of a look around before we head on home. We also visited the
Licorice and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Junee Licorice and Chocolate Factory, where we've stocked up. So we're going to come home full of sugar and very happy. All right, guys. Thanks for being with us on our trip, and I will say to my son, so long, and see you later.
Arrivederci.